Man, oh man, oh man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Again, it's your boy in the house, the one and only Coach Tony, and this is the right place to be because this is the Pull Up Podcast show. And we are going to have a phenomenal night as we check back in tonight. We've been running a great series with a lot of our young athletes called Diamonds in the Rough, and there have been some amazing stories that we've had. And, of course, we got another series tonight with a young lady that's going to absolutely wow you to death. But before that, we got to take care of some side notes. There was a small little championship played this particular last few weeks. And it wasn't the March Madness. Obviously, you know, I'm a basketball guy, so March Madness is where I lie. But it was called, I believe, let me think. The World Cup. And it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. So me and my sidekick, Val, the trusted voice, we're going to talk about it a little bit in the first quarter. But we're going to take care of a couple of housekeeping notes. It's one of the quickest and fastest sports podcasts in the country right now that's growing big time. Thank you for everybody checking in. I see Nyla. She's checking in and say, "What's up, Michaela? What's going on?" I mean, Malika, what's happening? And everyone else is checking in with me around here. Kevin's in the house. Got a few other people just checking in. I appreciate you very much. Make sure you share the show. Make sure your friends share the show. And more importantly, subscribe to the show. But before we get started and before I bring out my trusty sidekick, Val, you know what to do. Drop it.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the boys and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the boys and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast.
Man, every time I hear that dope beat, I just want to get up and just bounce. Big shout out to my nephew, Demetrius, a.k.a. Young Farrah John, and ATL dropping that track for me, and him and Key and P on the beat. So I appreciate you very much so. But welcome back, Season 5. Wow, Season 5, Episode 516. This is the Pull Up Podcast show with your boy, Coach Tony. We're going to bring my trusty sidekick to the stage with me as well. My boy, my ship. K.A. Sci-Fi New Pod checking in the house right there, my boy. Brother Deep, what's good with you, man? What's good? Thank you for checking in. That's them, for y'all don't know, them noobs, that's them Camp Alpha Psi brothers, man, around the world. Not the country, but around the world. My brother checking in with me tonight. I appreciate you. Val, let's bring my co-host to the stage a little bit. Welcome to the stage, my girl, my sidekick, Val the Voice Johnson. Welcome.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
And I am as cool as the other side of the bed, girl. What's going on?
Ooh, I am not answering that question right now. We're just gonna.
Hey, everybody knows it's live when I'm not even gonna answer that question, Coach.
I'm not gonna answer that question, but I am excited about what we saw on yesterday. The World Cup, man. The world came together. Mexico. It was Canada. No. It was us. I'm referring to the three countries that hosted. We were not the only one. We were not the only host country, but it ended somewhere on the East Coast, just inside of Jersey. The World Cup happened. Did you take a look at it, Coach?
85,000 in his house. Val. Hey, let me tell you something. I argued with one of my boys that played golf with me talking about football this and football that. I said, man, dog, you talking about soccer. And then I got an opportunity to kind of do some homework. Val, do you know the next cup that's coming up? Do you know what cup number that's going to be?
It's probably going to be in the hundreds because soccer has been around for centuries.
Not in the hundreds. It's going to be 100 on the dot. It is going to be the 100th soccer. So football, what were we on, 75th, 76th? So soccer reigns supreme, but it is phenomenal. And for those, I still got to take my hats off. I had France as a long shot. They played England on Saturday and got beat, but a high-scoring game, one of the highest-scoring games in the entire Cup. But that game Sunday, man, came from playing golf. I was outside, man, I was locked in. I'm talking about a defensive stop the entire 90 minutes, Val, with no score, and then to go into overtime. That was ridiculous. Absolutely.
It was bananas. And I'm sitting up here. Well, congratulations to it was Argentina and Spain. And to see them, as you just said, scoreless throughout that game, and it had to happen in overtime. Usually a lot of exciting things happen in overtime in basketball and American football, because football and soccer is international. So, my gosh, wasn't this amazing?
Man, it was one of those things, and I'm gonna go back for for promotional purposes only. 2 shows ago, me and Val was talking, and I was, I told y'all, I said I had Spain and Argentina making it to the finals, which they did. I had France as an outside shot, but I was hoping, Val, that Argentina won because I'm a big Messi fan. I was hoping to take Messi out on top like Jordan, like Magic, you know what I mean? Like LeBron's going to do, and whatnot, but it just wasn't his time. But the crazy part about it was an overtime game, and the crazy part about it was that they were on defense almost the entire game. Man, Spain kept attacking. I'm like, man, is Argentina going to get an opportunity to shoot at the goal at least once?
Well, see, this is what all World Cup folks and any soccer fans love. It's the thrill of the game, to just keep pushing, and for each team to fight to score. Because when I looked at the highlights, there was no scoring happening during the regular. I was like, what in the world is happening?
Was the halftime show with Shakira them. You know what I mean? That was what?
You know what? And I think they did the World Cup very similar to our American Super Bowl, where everyone came out and performed. And a lot of people said regarding the performance that happened, during the World Cup, was that the message was, it doesn't matter from what country or race you come from, we can come together no matter what language. And of course, Shakira speaks the language of hips. So everybody was vibing with her. So I was like, let's go. But what exciting matchup. But of course, the thing that all of us want to talk about is the story you want to bring up. Remember?
Well, hold on. Before we get to that story, I do want to make a comment, because everyone was on, Ferran Torres. He had a couple of goals in a couple of different games, and of course he hit the winning kick. But me being a coach, Val, I look at everything. So you don't get a goal unless it's a breakaway steal, right? Because basketball and soccer are so much similar, because you don't know when a steal is going to happen. You don't know when a turnover is going to happen. You possibly don't know when a score is going to happen. But Nico Williams, that young man was balling all game. And you take him away from the baseline, that ball goes out of bounds. It's Argentina's ball. He catches up with the ball and with his head, hits it back. And Torres came with that left foot slam dunk, boom. And it was a wrap. And their goalie that was playing, I mean, he had what was his name? The goalie, Argentina's goalie, Emmanuel Martinez. He had 11 stops to set a record, which was phenomenal. But that last goal, that header, that assist back with the head, it was just too much room to cover. And unfortunately, Messi had to go home. He had to walk up off the stage, but we didn't have nothing else for him. That young man right there, that's the story of the entire tournament right there, to see, Lamine Yamal walk off, 19 years old. And the story has it, some 19, 20 years ago, Messi, a good friend of his family, had an opportunity to hold him in his arms. And now, 20 years later, that's some LeBron James type stuff, Val. We already know that, right? That's LeBron at 43, And Messi Well, think about that, Val. You hold one of your neighbor's daughters or sons in your hand, and then 20 years later, she's got the biggest podcast in the world. You're like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? It's incredible. And I thought this was, as they say, it came full circle.
Yeah, and I think it's there was the photos that were taken when he was much younger. He
like 18 months old.
Yeah, he was really young, and it was 19 years later. Lionel once held him as a baby, and it was for a charity. It was for a charity photo shoot. That's where this comes from. Yeah. And so they said this is the images that make, according to Yahoo News, 1 in a billion, an intergenerational encounter between soon-to-be GOAT and his future World Cup. And the thing of it is that he admired Messi for years. He had met him. He met him again when he was a teenager.
And Messi opened the door for him when he was a teenager and started working with him. So that was a holiness promo. Then I get to know the family, and then years later, I come back when you were a little young guy just wanting to play the game. It's like, and my girl checked it in. With Reed was good.
Mm-hmm. And I think for everyone, and this is one of the reasons why it's important. Mentorship and coaching is just, you never know who's watching you on the field, off the field. He didn't have to do that charity event. And one thing that was so beautiful of Williams, he gave his award of the charm to his mom, because they had left where they had come from to make a better life there in Spain. And did you know some of the other things is that a lot of the people, whatever country that a lot of the soccer players were representing, they weren't necessarily from that country. That was, I didn't know that as I did some deep dive in myself, Coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me so much, Val. This is why, I know we talk about the NBA champs, the Major League Baseball World Series, the hockey and all of that stuff, the Super Bowl, but there's nothing like the Olympics, and there's nothing like the World Games, and there's nothing like the World Cup. When you got the world on display, especially when you're in a situation where we have turmoil going around the world, hatred going around the world. 2 things I know to bring people together. 2 things. Actually 3.
What's that?
Food, music, and sports. I don't give a damn what you're doing. They're going to feed themselves, because ain't nobody going to go around and have their ass starving at all. And then you're going to listen to your music, right? Well, if your favorite artist is coming to town, you may have $5, but you're going to go figure out how to scrape up the rest of that money to go see that artist if you are a lover of that particular artist and that music. And then, no matter how sad you are, people go out and watch their entertainment. Go back and look at the pandemic, right? When we were in the house, what was the one sport that was on TV? Golf. Everybody like, what the hell? Why? Because if me and you are playing golf, the chances of you and I hitting the ball in the exact same place is very little to none. And the other sport was what? Like I guess tonight, tennis, because you're on one side of the rack and I'm on the other. We're way more than 6 to 10 feet away from one another. So we had to watch indoor tennis and we watched an indoor golf. And it was great to now then see the world come back together. And when you see something like this and you go on the world stage, what I loved about this year's World Cup, Val, the United States, who always think football is reign supreme, got an opportunity to really see what the world. My boy called me yesterday, Val, in Chicago. He was like, dog, I'm downtown. I don't want to 8 to 10 bars and can't get in. And there's people outside Michigan Avenue, Ontario, Lake, whatever, watching the game because they can't get in the bar. That's insane. And we had nothing to do. The game was in like I say, in Jersey.
I know. And like I said, I had friends of mine that are in New York that got a chance to get tickets to the World Cup. They were in the nosebleed seats, but they were there. And if you come from any country that soccer is king, this was a big deal. And so soccer comes every 4 years. That's right. I found out that the next big tournament will be the women next year.
And that's going to be, oh, my God. Oh,
Congratulations to Spain. Woo! You guys won.
For promotional purposes only, our women are tough. Go put the paper on America. Go put the paper on the USA. They don't lose, especially with Dennis Rodman's daughter and all that. They don't lose. I'm telling you right now, go take the early odds and drop some money on them. And having said that, we're going to take a quick commercial, pay these bills after the first quarter, because you chilling with your boy, the one and only Coach Tony, and my sidekick, Val the Voice. We'll be right back with my guests on the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Woohoo!
The Rise, NIL. What are we? We're a sports marketing company brought to you in 2023, helping all of our athletes unleash their potential. We're in the sports world because what? The NIL, name, image, and likeness, is where the athletes play. So in order to do that, we want to make sure we help them maximize their earning potential, along with the brands that operate with them. So if you need to know some more information and how you can be a part of The Rise, reach out to us at information@therise.com or type in www.therisenil.com. Hey, I'm Coach Tony, and this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. For every Monday, we break down the game quarter by quarter and give you information as well as break down the coach. Join us on the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast show. I say it, bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your boy, the one and only Coach Tony. Man, I'm telling you, man, that is Val hit it on the head. I had an excellent time. Thank you to the World Cup people. Thanks to the USA. Thanks for Jersey for putting on one hell of a show. I don't think that I've ever seen the American people locked in like March Madness until I seen the Cup. I mean, I seen people really locked in on that Cup. And speaking of locking in, we put on a series, and we've been putting on for quite some time here on the Pull Up Podcast Show, and I'm very proud of it. I'm glad that Val and myself got an opportunity to sit down, and she asked me, hey, Coach, you know, we need to highlight some of the young kids that are doing some phenomenal things. So I said, no, Val, you are completely correct. I would like to create a show maybe called like the Diamonds in the Rough. And we've had some phenomenal people on, and one of the best shows we had on is my young guy who's at Florida A&M, FAMU, HBCU in the house, and Amir Rahman. Tremendous story. You don't get an opportunity to see that show, please go back on the Pull Up Podcast and type in Amir Rahman and watch that show. And Amir, big ups. I know you're on the set tonight. And tonight, Helen from state of Colorado, by way now of a big move going south to Boca, Florida. And she's been playing tennis probably as long as she's been able to walk and talk. And Daddy is ex-Olympian. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But we're going to bring to the stage my guest, my client that's doing some major things. I cannot wait to get out on the world tour with her, Miss Malika Chinyere. Welcome to the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Hi.
What's up, young lady?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. I know you got a absolutely busy schedule and the whole 9 yards. So thank you for just taking time out of your workouts and all that and joining us here on the Pull Up Podcast Show. My audience has been really talking about, hey, Coach, when you got the next Diamonds on the Rough? We really like the kids that's checking in and doing some major things. And I want to make sure we present you to the world, not just to the show, but the world. I got guests checking in tonight from Italy. My man Richard's checking in. Coach Cigar, what's up, baby? Salute you. He's overseas right now where you just left in Belgium. We'll talk about that. So I got a lot of people checking in tonight. Let's get back to the early years, Malika, and let's come and talk a little bit about where you're originally from, where mom and dad, how they got here and all that, and just kind of, set the stage a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. My name's Malika. I'm originally from Colorado. My parents are, my dad's from Zimbabwe, my mom's from South Africa. And I was first doing gymnastics when I was in Colorado from like very little to about 8 years old. But I started actually playing tennis like just for fun at like 5. And then I seriously started playing tennis when I was about 8, and it just kind of took off from there.
Oh wow, that is incredible. And Dad, for people who don't know, Dad had an opportunity to be an Olympian, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that is so she come from some great bloodline. So you're sitting up there. What made you change sports? Was it just something about the tennis that made you want to just, start playing? Because you got to think, I'm from Chicago. Ain't nobody trying to play no tennis outside in Colorado, girls. What made you want to change sports?
I think part of it was I got too tall really fast when I was little. And then another part is I started playing tennis. It just felt so natural. It wasn't forced. It just kind of came to me, and I just kind of ran away with it. And my love for the sport it grew along with me as I grew.
And then as you start to grow and really get into the game and all that, and once you start playing and all that, what was the big decision that Dad says, I'm going to be your coach? Because I tried that with my son, and let me tell you, it took a minute. It didn't just happen after shoot. I actually, Malik, I had to cut my son from my AAU program. But once he made it, he was like, oh my God. He went on and told his mom, oh my God, mom, I made Dad's AAU team. And I felt probably more happy than he did. He just didn't know it and all that. So how was it kind of, getting Dad to be your coach right off the bat? Did you want somebody else, or you just like, hey, I don't know about this sport, so I'm gonna let him do his thing?
Yeah, well, at first I was just kind of like, my dad knew nothing about tennis, and I didn't either. So I was like, okay, well, we'll see how it goes. And then, like, it was like maybe 4 or 5 years, like, I've basically been training with my dad for my whole life. And then he finally was like, okay, well, you're getting good now, so now I have to find a coach. So he found this one coach, and I started, like, training with him a little bit. And then I was actually a part of Team Colorado when I was 10. And it was just like this group of really good kids in Colorado that we had to do tryouts for and everything. And actually, that coach that was running Team Colorado, he's still I still keep in touch with him. He's still been a big part of my life for tennis. But it was definitely like around when I was like 12, started getting tricky working with my dad because I had my own opinion. He had his own opinion. So it was just it was like push and pull at first, but now I've gotten used to it. Like, I'm working with other coaches now, but it's definitely good to have my dad being a coach as well.
In your corner. And trust me, everybody, I was getting pictures, of her pushing snow with a shovel off the court. I'm like, wait a minute, this girl pushing snow off the shovel. Hey, but the one person I got to tell everybody who's listening to the podcast tonight, my biggest up goes to Mom. Mom and I, without Mom, we may have met, but it may have been a long shot. But I gotta always love Mom. Has been, when I say 100, she's been 100. On my way with my program, the Rise NIL, had a client signed to me on my way out west. Actually, I was in the airport arguing with the guy because of some stupid stuff he had done, and I wasn't too happy about it. And I was halfway there, layover. And Mom was getting ready to fly out. She said, hey, I will listen to your call a little bit. What do you do? And I told her, and we got to conversating, and she said, hey, can you take on another client? I'm like, sure. Let me see what you're talking about. And man, am I so glad you become my first tennis person. And I threw my entire everything into just learning more about the sport. And it was crazy. And so here we are years later, and I've actually been in the corner watching you grow. So it's been phenomenal for me. But I'm not going to let you skip over the fact of the matter that you not only did well in Colorado, but you did so well that you had an opportunity to be enshrined for life in the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I played a lot of tournaments in Colorado, which resulted in a lot of different people watching me play my matches. And a lot of people were like, I had no idea that this is a thing, but there was this Hall of Fame of sportsmanship and accomplishments in Colorado for tennis. And I got nominated by a whole bunch of people. And then like this one day I got a letter in the mail saying you were just awarded the Margaret Harris Sportsmanship Award. And I was just like, what, when did this happen?
Yes.
So we went to the ceremony, I got the award, and it was so amazing. It felt so good to be recognized for being a good sport on the court and also being honest, and having friends that are just willing to even nominate me for that is just amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. I remember when you called me and told me about it, I was just completely amazed. And to me, it just more exemplified the hard work you had put in and everything you had done. And a lot of people don't know. And then talk a little bit about, because tennis is a little different. You know, it's not like, you know, going out playing AAU basketball or 7-on-7 football and so forth and so on. You know, you're in Colorado and you're trying to get known, and then you come up with this great sportsmanship and you do all these wonderful things. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, what the training sessions and coming through that particular time was like.
Well, in Colorado with the snow, it was way harder than training down here in Florida. There was a lot of indoor training, not as many tournaments in the winter, because we had a lot of indoor courts, but tournaments were a lot harder with every age group playing indoors. So there was a lot of tournaments stacked on top of each other in summer. And then like for training, it was like the summer we had maybe 2 months that we were able to train outdoors in the heat, and then the rest of it was indoors. And we actually had like this one place where it was like indoor clay, so we would train there as well.
Oh yeah, that was my frat brother. You know, Dr. McKinney says, "Hey, congratulations, man! What a great achievement." You know, he knows definitely about that, working real hard. You know, and I remember the funny stories that used to come in, because I used to call you all the time. And you're like, "I'm just out getting in the house, Coach. You got to let me unthaw for a minute," you know, because you're talking about cold outside. But you know, give. You know, I've got a lot of young people. I know I talked to Amir, you know, at FAMU. We had another one of the guests early on that kicked off the Diamond Series. You know, and I was so proud of him because we got the FAMU. He just basically outworked everybody. Tell us a little bit about the early going, because you're still, at this time, you're still in middle school, right? Trying to make everything, trying to do it all. And tell us, how were you able to, you know, grasp your dad's workout and get up so early? Because, hey, my son was in high school, girl. I had almost beat him with a stick and pull him out the bed. We were just laughing and joking about that a few weeks ago. I would come in the room, like, pull the curtains back, let the sun shine in his face. Sometimes I'll take a cup of water and put my hands in it and drip it on his forehead. How was Dad able to get you up? Or were you that self-motivated, you kind of had that clock go off every single day you were ready to rock and roll?
So it's funny, like for tournaments, I'm very good at waking up usually. But when it came to like training in the morning, especially with going to school during 7th grade and 8th grade, it was rough because I would wake up at like 6 a.m. to do fitness with my dad. And there's some days like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And he'd just be like, nope, get out of bed. Let's go. And I'd have to I have to drag myself out of bed to go and do the fitness. My dad also used to pour water on me to get me out of bed.
Yeah, so you know how to do it.
Yeah, but it was definitely worth it in the end. And then I also left school a little bit earlier to get training in as well.
Yeah, and at the time it was so funny because I remember talking to you and I was telling a few people at that time, you know, just kind of your schedule. You know, they're like, well, what does she do this and that? I'm like, hey, she goes to school. Then on her break, she's practicing. In the morning, she's practicing. Then she comes home. And then in the afternoon, you were doing about what, another 2-3 hours once you got back home from school? Because sometime I would call and, you know, I know Colorado's out in the middle of the desert and whatnot, but you sometimes want to get home at 8-9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so I would leave school early, maybe go hit with my dad a little bit, get about an hour of homework in, and then I'd head down to the Denver Tennis Club, which is where I train pretty much most of my time in Colorado. And usually it was from 7 to 9 o'clock, and then I'd get home, and then it was bed, and there's repeat the next day.
Oh, my God. What was the big difference like when you see kids at school and they talk about the party or the hanging out and doing this and that, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get you, okay. What was that like, the conversation when they were doing other things, but you were grinding on where you trying to go to?
It was definitely hard trying to explain it to people that didn't really understand. Like, they all did their own sports, but it wasn't necessarily to the extent where it's like, I'm coming to school late. I'm going to school. I'm leaving school early.
Right.
It was more just like, well, I play this sport on the weekend. I train during the afternoon, so I have time to go do this with my friends. So definitely, like when they ask me, hey, do you want to hang out, or hey, do you want to do this? It was like a lot of the times like, I'm sorry, like I can't.
Right.
And then I actually did lose like a lot of friends because of that, because they would just like, they'd be like, well, she can't hang out anyway. But the few friends that I did keep that were really close, they really understood what it was like. And it was just, they would always find a way to make time around my schedule where we could hang out, which was just amazing.
That's great. And my girl Bella Baby, check it in. Bella Unplugged in the ATL with that new grandbaby, said it is awesome and it's just wonderful to hear this. And don't you worry, Malika, we ain't got to sweat it, because those friends that didn't have time, don't worry. Down the road, we're going to charge y'all for them tickets to get in to see us play down the road. We ain't got to worry about it. We won't get the ticket list, so don't even sweat it. But speaking of that, we're going to take a break, halftime right here. We're going to let Val the Voice play a couple of bills. We'll be right back on the third quarter with your boy, the one and only Coach Tony, and my special guest, Malika Chinyeri. We'll be right back on the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Hey, the summer is here. Are you guys getting out? I'm encouraging everybody to go to that concert, outdoors that is, that festival, or do a nice long jog and or ride your bike. Get out and enjoy the summertime. And while you're out, make sure to take the Interludes podcast along with you. We stream on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you stream your podcasts. We want to personally thank you for being a part of the Interludes family. Aired NBA on NBC shows. I'm going to tune in to hear that, because if I, in my mind, if I got a pair of Jordans, or
you do get a pair of Jordans.
Exactly. I want to hear the person I've idolized in my childhood or I've heard about, and hear what he thinks about the sport. So this is very exciting to know that he is coming to it. But one thing I was thinking, I said, man, I am excited, because I haven't really been excited for who's got me excited about basketball recently has been the wins. Well, I don't know.
Your boy, Coach Tony got you excited about basketball. Everything else is secondary.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. I guess we need to wrap up the quarter.
We're gonna wrap this quarter up. Me and Val out here wilding out.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast.
Exactly right. And this past summer, Malika, you grew. I mean, you really grew. And when I'm talking about grew, you grew in terms of your game, and and a little bit about her techniques in terms of training. What are some things that you're doing as a dad in terms of training and getting her prepared for the next level?
Yeah, so we, from the age of 8 all the way to about 11, it was mainly dad doing this stuff. Mm-hmm. But from about a year ago, we started seeing that there were things that we needed to do to get to the next level. So we've been so lucky that, like she mentioned, Denver Tennis Park is where we are practicing with some of the college kids there. We still do our thing, but to raise the level, you got to play with those who are ahead of you at times, and improve the level that you are when you play with other who are the same age as you. So we actually this summer we've seen this.
Man, that was a great conversation right there with Dad talking about it. Welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show. Man, that was good. And he kind of took the words out of my mouth and just breaking things down. Now you got to get a new mindset, because a lot of kids, when they make a move, right, they're upset. No, mama, you uproot me from my friends and this and that. But you really didn't have that type of friends because of what you were doing. So talk to us a little bit about the move from Colorado to Boca, Florida. Obviously, you're going to love the weather much better. I mean, that's toot. But how was the move overall? Because we're talking about, this is not just a move. We're talking about this a physical move. We're talking about it's more challenging. We're talking about better competition. And you got to go down there and make a new name for you in an area that nobody knows who you are. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was really rough at first. I didn't really know what to expect. I came from being like a big fish in a small pond to a very small fish in a very big pond.
Okay.
Where it was like everyone was so good. Everyone was very, very, very competitive. And it was just like, it was kind of a shock at first. So for the first like pretty much a year, I was really struggling to get points. I was really struggling to even make it into like a regular level 4. And it was just like, it was really tough mentally because it felt like I had worked so hard and then I moved and it's like, well, where did all the hard work go to? And then eventually I kind of settled in. I was like, okay, I know who I'm playing. I know the courts I'm going to. I know what I need to do to be ready. I need to have extra water. I need to have extra food. I really need to fuel myself.
Okay.
And it really helped.
Oh, man, that's great. And then we got 3 Eastern 2344 checking in with the double pounds, asking a question about, you kind of mentioned that. What is the routine, Malika? Like, some of my basketball guys, and they'll bring the Gatorades or body armor, different things of that nature. They have supplements, different things they work on. Because I'm working with a new brand, and shortly we're gonna introduce that new brand to you and really get you muscled up. But what is kind of like the go-to? Did you do like when I was playing basketball? My go-to snack, guess what it was?
But
Payday. Oh, I love payday.
yeah.
Had to have a payday, man. I'm like, well, go play ball. Got to eat a payday. Did you have like that superstitious or that one go-to fruit, vegetable, snack, anything you got to have before you play?
I wouldn't say have to have it, but I have like I love the body armor drinks. I just feel like it's really good for like hydrating.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't really think of something that I have to have. I know like I have like this lucky dampener that I put on my strings, like, and if I can't find that dampener, it's like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? But
right,
nothing really like a food.
Right. And body armor, you heard that. You better be calling us real soon. We need to get some cases of that body armor. Make sure we get this video out to you, so we already know. But and now you're in Florida. Tell us a little bit about where you are, and then once you got settled in, some of the trainers that dad had to now put you into other hands, so you really started to up your game.
Yeah, so I tried a lot of academies down in Boca, but I really, really fell in love with one academy called LAT. They have like a lot of great coaches. One of their coaches was actually pro, Alicia Black.
Okay.
She played pro for, and she got to the finals for US Open Juniors. And so she was my private coach for the first few months that I was there. And then they also had a lot of people that I was training with, like good hitters, older girls. So it was a lot of competition. And then it's just been like the academy's just been growing. So it's been really good with coaching, really good with hitting partners. I also like to hit people like outside of practice, just like extra match play, extra points. Mm-hmm. And I think that really helped me improve.
You and I talked about our girl, you kind of know Coco Golf and all that, So who's your favorite tennis player, and why? And do you kind of like emulate your game after any particular player? Or you kind of like, somebody asked me that question the other day and I'm like, no, we're not Serena. We're not Coco. We Mac, M-A-C, right? That's what we are.
Yeah, I'd say someone that I actually just recently found out that I have a very similar forehand to one of the pro players. I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness, his name just slipped my head, but it'll come to me. But on the women's side, I'd say one of my favorites is Muchkova.
Oh, let's put it off. You've been talking about her for quite some time.
Yeah. I'd say we have a pretty similar game. She's very aggressive, but she's also very good at staying like in the rallies. She's a very smart player. Mm-hmm. I just really like how she is on the court. Her demeanor, like she's calm, she's collected.
Yeah, I like her, but I just didn't like the fact that she knocked out my girl Osaka, even though Osaka knocked out Sabalenka. That was the one big thing I was really pumped up about. She jumps back in because Osaka hadn't been back, since the situation. She's still fighting to come back. But when she knocked out Sabalenka, I was like, yes, let's go, girl. And then she got down there and Machado was like, nah, slow it up. And then I'm like, okay, Coco gonna get her. Nah, slow up, Coco. Can't do it. So, I mean, what were you able to watch any of Wimbledon this year during the time?
Yes, I was a little bit on and off. I was able to watch a lot of the matches. I really loved the Osaka match against Sabalenka. The Coco against Muchkova. It was definitely upsetting, but I mean, I was really happy for Muchkova at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the matches are really good this year. There's a lot of upsets, but it was good.
They were really pumped up. And speaking of upsets, I'm not going to let her not toot her horn, everybody. She's in these tournaments in Florida. She's dominating the girls, and they make her play boys, to like offset some of her wins, which I'm like, I told Mom, we were talking one day, and she got through an event and had to play I think it was a kid. It was a senior, I think it was. He barely beat her, took her to extra sets, and Mom and I were talking. She's like, I thought she was going to be upset. She's like, Mom, why? He was a senior. I was a freshman, and I took him to extra sets. So that was crazy. So that just lets me know about the dog and the fight inside of what you are, and we always talk about the UTR. Explain to everyone about the UTR, the ratings and all that, and where you really are, need to be in terms of people looking at you.
For UTR, it's like the higher UTR is, the better. You definitely want to have a good UTR, especially in the juniors.
And what's the UTR stand for, real quick? Make sure everybody understands that.
UTR stands for Universal Tennis Rating.
Correct.
So it's something that college coaches will look at. It's definitely something that will help you get into a really good college if it's high. It helps you get into PTTs, which is like it's the professional tennis tour for UTR. It's like a higher version of Battle of Boca. So it'll help you get your UTR, and that's a tournament you can only play if you have an 8.5 UTR, which is very close to where I am right now.
Yeah, so, and the funny part about it, as you coming up, we had the last conversation, you were like high sevens. So this girl's climbing like, like an avalanche in Colorado. That may be your new nickname. We'll call you the Avalanche or something,
Yeah, I like that nickname.
Yeah, but that was like great. So what can you attribute? Has it been more of Dad working you out? Have you, because you've gotten much bigger. We looked at that video a moment ago. Now look at you. Have you started to get on the bands and on the weights right now? Just really kind of getting your strength up?
Yeah, definitely. I did a lot of running with my dad. Bands for shoulder work. I've been doing weights, deadlifts, a lot of weights to build the muscle. I've also just been eating I think I've been eating a lot more.
Yes.
It's all burning off on the course. So
yeah, exactly right. So, and what's kind of like some of your favorite foods?
Well, I love this thing, ground beef, like in red sauce with rice. And that's like my favorite meal, my go-to meal. Like before a match or something, I definitely like pasta with like chicken Alfredo pasta, sandwiches, just really anything. Honestly, I'm not picky.
Yeah, my son's a big Alfredo guy. I just can't mess with it, but it's good. At least you're getting your field, man. We are having a great in-depth conversation with my girl, Malika Chinyeri, sitting here out of Boca, Florida, talking about where she's at. Talk to us a little bit about, like, in Florida, what was one of your toughest matches, whether it be male or female, that you really was like, oh my God. And then tell us a little bit about when you knew that you think that you finally have arrived.
I think one of my toughest matches was when it was my first Battle of Boca final, and I was playing this girl that I definitely could have beat, but it was all, I wouldn't say pressure. It was more just like I froze while I was playing. I wasn't able to execute my shots. I wasn't able to fully do what I wanted to do in that match, and I ended up losing it. It was definitely really hard mentally for me. But I definitely fought back, especially in my other matches. I think one of my best matches where it showed me I can do this, building the confidence, was one of my most recent matches. I played a WTA ranked player, and her UTR was a 10.56. And the weekend before, I lost to another WTA ranked player whose UTR was a 10, and I lost in the third set. And then the next weekend when I played the 10.56, I actually ended up beating her in the third set, which it just felt amazing. It really built my confidence up, and it's just been uphill from there, honestly.
Man, that is absolutely incredible because, the big thing is that I think you just answered. I was going to ask you, like, if you take a tough loss, how do you bounce back?
I think when I take like a tough loss, obviously tennis doesn't define me, but I do I let it think about it. I kind of talk about it with my coaches, with my parents after the match, but I try not to let it carry over into the next day. I'm going to be a little bit frustrated, a little bit sad after the match, but it's not going to be something I'm going to carry for the next week or the next 2 weeks. But I definitely do some of the tough matches that I lose. I definitely think about it in my next matches. Okay, we know how I felt in this match, so let's make sure I don't feel the same in this match. This really helps me.
Man, did you hear that? Tennis don't define me. But the Pull Up Podcast show define your boy, Coach Tony. And we're going to take our final break of the day on the show. We'll be right back with Malika Chinyere. Diamonds on the rough. Val, pay my last bill so I can get these people out my pocket, please.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the KeySpot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. KeySpot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. KeySpot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast show with your boy, the one and only Coach Tony, and my special guest, Diamonds in the Rough, Miss Malika Chinyere. So this logo I'm wearing right here, the Root brands, and I got my guy looking on the night, Clayton Thomas here in Nashville, Tennessee. If those of you that don't know about the Root brands, we make a lot of big things happen when it comes to wellness. So if you get an opportunity to check in, go out to www.therootbrands.com for wellness without compromise. And you see that thing says zero in? That's what we at, Malika. We're going to get you to zero in on everything you can do. We're going to chisel you out so you can become that phenomenal athlete. So I cannot wait. Been talking to them. Now, speaking of talking to somebody can't wait, take us out to Belgium. Yes, everybody, this young lady had an opportunity to get the heck out, gone from Colorado. She already told y'all she done moved down to Miami. Now she done broke up out the country and went over to Belgium. Talk to us a little bit about that and how was that experience?
Yeah, so my dad met this guy named Robert and his wife, Carla. They have 2 girls that play really high-level tennis.
Shout their names out. Give them a shout out. Shout them out.
Natalia and Monika, the 2 girls that I met with. They were just amazing people. Monika plays for Syracuse, and Natalia is here in Florida for college.
Okay.
So I went and practiced them for a day, and then I found out I was going to Belgium. I was like, I'm going to Belgium, okay. So it was the next 2 weeks I was packing my bags, trying to finish up some schoolwork, and I was on a plane to Belgium. It didn't feel real at first. It only felt real when the jet lag hit. I was so tired when I got there.
Yeah, yes, long trip.
Yeah, and it just ended up being an amazing experience. I played a whole bunch of matches. I got to play with a whole bunch of different people and met people. Traveling was just amazing. I just absolutely loved the experience. It was so much fun.
Man, that's great. And I want to send a humongous shout out to my boy, the one and only Sam Cipriano, and my girl Lauren sitting at Edge Sports International back home in Chicago with me. Thank you for making it possible. Talk a little bit about the opportunity to sit up and, and be a part of Diadem Sports and what they've done for you.
Yeah, so thank you again to Sam and Lauren for setting up this amazing sponsorship. Diadem has been absolutely amazing, especially with how expensive rackets and tennis bags are, especially with shoes, how fast I run through shoes now. And strings is just, it's crazy. So having the support behind me has just been amazing, and the rackets are amazing. I play with the Axis 98, and it's just, it really fits my game. I love the bag that they gave me. It's just, everything about it's just been so amazing.
And it was so phenomenal. And when Mom told me that, you got ready to go to Belgium, and, I'm like, well, how's she going to take all that? And she was like, man, they packaged everything up and sent it out there. So all you had to do was just get there. I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great. I was so grateful.
That's great. I'm telling you guys right now, we had a great conversation, Diamonds in the Rough series with my girl, Malika Chinyeri. Those brands out there, take a look. We're talking to you right now. You got an opportunity to call Coach Tony. If you don't know how to get in touch with me, hit me on the gram at the Pull Up Podcast Show, or hit Val at PureLighthouse.com, and make sure you get in touch with me. I would love to put you in touch with what we're doing, because once we get kicked off and this young lady goes, we are on the move. Now, talk to us a little bit. You did two things out there with your girl. You played doubles and then you had singles. Talk to us a little bit about the doubles, because when Mom sent me that picture and y'all had the big plaque sitting up in the air right there that you showing with the doubles, I'm like, okay, she playing some doubles. How did you get thrown into the doubles, and did you think you guys were going to win it?
Oh, absolutely not. So I just met this girl, Nicole. She's 15. She was, we were also staying at the house. She was from Arizona. So we just met each other, and it was like 2 weeks later, we were playing an ITF in doubles, and we were just kind of thrown out there. Like, we obviously had the training and everything, but we like literally started practicing doubles 2 days before the tournament. So it was a little bit crazy at first. And I was just like, well, I mean, there's like no harm in trying to play. Like, it's just like, it's going to be fun and it's going to be a great experience. And we won first round. I was like, okay, nice. Second round, I was like, wow, okay, we're doing good. And then third round, fourth round, and then finals. It was really amazing to partner with someone like the polar opposite of me. Like, I'm very aggressive at the net. I'm a big hitter. She's very consistent, and she makes a lot of balls in the court and sets me up amazingly at the net. So it was a really good partnership, and I was actually unbelievable. I didn't think we were going to win at all.
Man, that's amazing. I expect to see you guys probably teaming back up in the future too,
Yeah. We're actually planning on playing a level 1 in Florida in August 28th.
Oh man, that's great. You got to keep us informed on that. I got to get out and get on the road, come checking some of those out. And then talk to us a little bit about going from the doubles over to the singles, because now you're by yourself. You really got to put up some good showing. And you won both the matches. You made some good little money over there. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I played a lot of matches. I played about 6 tournaments, and it was about 20 matches. Out of those matches, I lost about 4, and all of the matches were they were tough. I really had to like improve my independence and like take accountability for what I needed to do before the match, getting my waters ready, getting the stuff that I need, my food, everything that I needed to get ready before the match and during the match was on me. I would no longer relying on anyone else. It was me. Right. And it was like, I had the girls watching my matches, cheering me on, but there were some matches, it was just me out on that court and I was playing, and it was just like, it went into overtime or it went into the third set, and it was like, I really had to push myself to be better, and I had to push myself almost to the limit to get there. But it was a great experience. It really showed me that I can push myself, and I can take accountability for what I need to do to get myself ready and prepared to play matches.
Man, that's awesome. And now that you're back home, what did you say? What was your overall learning experience? What did you think you learned with the opportunity of going over to Belgium to play, as opposed to staying in Florida all summer trying to?
I think what I learned is that I have a very well-rounded game. I definitely had to work on some trick shots, some drop shots, and slices, especially on clay because it's a lot slower. Mm-hmm. I think I learned that I actually am like a lot more athletic than I give myself credit for. I mean, I was playing so many matches, I didn't think my body was going to last, but it lasted. It was really good. And I think I really just was really proud of how I took accountability for myself and was just like very independent while I was there.
Yeah, that was that fettuccine that you ate that made sure they got you through that,
Yeah.
And the crazy part about, everything as well is just that, you've been continually going up and up and up. What would be a satisfying UTR number that you're chasing right now? That you can say, if I can get to this particular number, then I know that I'm hitting the ball and I'm ready.
I think definitely by the end of the summer, a very realistic goal at the pace that I'm going is a 9 UTR. I think I've won some great matches. I have the confidence to go ahead and keep building on all of the matches that I've won. So I think for right now, it's a 9 UTR or above, just pushing myself to get there.
Man, that's great. And don't think that I didn't see that clay game. You put that out on the gram, like, what shot do y'all like? I love that. So I had to like that. So if everybody wanted to make sure they follow you and track how you're doing and all that, how can the people out here on the Pull Up Podcast show make sure they follow you on the Instagram?
My Instagram is Malaika Alashanudeta Tennis 16. It'll be pretty easy. Not a lot of people have my name, but definitely follow me on the Instagram. Hype up the account. It's growing with numbers, and I'm always posting, always showing like what I'm doing for training. Sometimes right. Meal prep videos. So
that's dope. And by the way, don't think that it's not. You guys, please keep. I'm designing some stuff right now. The initials is MAC, MAC. That's coming to you pretty soon. We're gonna be having some hats and some hopes, some scores, some shirts. So when you see that MAC out, and everybody's like, "You want to be the next Serena? You want to be the next Coco?" No, I'm gonna be the first MAC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta follow us. We're gonna get there. So if you had to give out some great advice to some young tennis stars, and you're still young yourself, growing in there, so young athletes, what kind of advice would you give the people that are trying to make it? Because, your every step hasn't been easy. I've been able to follow it, for the last 4.5, 5 years now, which is crazy. Time has flown that quickly through the pandemic and all that. But what would be some good advice that you would be able to give someone that's watching you how to take the proper steps and maybe cut out a couple of things and maybe shortcut a couple of things to get where you are?
I'd say stay consistent. I mean, your biggest opponent is always going to be yourself. So even on the days where you feel like you can't do it or you're too tired, push yourself because it'll work out in the end. It's always going to be worth it. But then I'd also say find that balance between fun and tennis, because you don't want your whole life to be circled around tennis or your sport. Mm-hmm. But always finding that middle ground is going to be really good. But yeah, staying consistent, staying on the court, staying fit. It's all part of it.
There you go. Are you jogging? How much are you jogging on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis, I'd say I've just started more recently, probably about like a mile, 2 miles. I'm not doing crazy amounts of running, but I do a lot of short sprints, a lot of like short distance, quick reaction stuff.
Okay. I'm going to get you working on some more distance so I can get that cardio up. You're not going to worry about all that if you got to play all day. So, what's the big thing? What's next? What's next for us? Where are we heading next? What's the, if you had a wish list, what's next?
What's next? Definitely, I'm going to start playing Futures, which is another step up to pro level. I'm going to start playing a lot more ITFs to get me points. I mean, as I'm turning 17, ITFs might be a little bit late, but for Futures, definitely I'm going to start playing Futures, traveling for PTTs, again, a higher UTR tournament. And I'm just going to start getting my points up so that I can start getting closer to pro every day.
Yeah, that's good. And I know we already got some colleges showing interest in all that. But like I said, our big thing is, we're coming out of here, looking to come right out of school, turning right to the pro ranks and make it happen, and all that. Because I was really shocked. Florida's got some real good, especially on the men's side of the house. They've got some guys that just hit Wimbledon. 2 or 3 of the top guys was like out of Florida and all that. So I know we're in a great spot right now.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, listen, let me tell you something. Thank you so much for just taking time out of your busy schedule tonight. And just, I talk to you all the time. I love you to death. We're going to be ride or die for the years to come. And I cannot wait. I told my basketball guys, by the way, Malik, I said, listen, if y'all don't have it knocked out by the time my girl turned pro, y'all can forget it, because I'm a new tennis guy at that point. I'm on the marketing side of the house doing that. But listen, We got the brands out there. If you want to make sure you're working with us, you know, and want to reach out to Coach Tony, again, get at me at the Pull Up Podcast Show on the gram. And again, you want to make sure you get with Malika. Malika, tell them your Instagram one more time so they can make sure they follow you as well.
Malika Alice Chinyere at 16.
There you go. Get at them both. And, you know, make sure you don't go nowhere. Pull up backstage. Don't leave. We're going to talk for a minute. For those that I appreciate you very much. You know, my boy Gary, he just checked in late as normal. The Chicago Cats always checking in late doing something, you know. But listen, it's been great. Tell mom and dad I said hello. We'll be in touch. We got, you know, I'm not going to say the brand since I here tonight, but y'all heard this interview. Call me this week. Let's make this happen. Let's get this young lady on her way because I think she will be the next big tennis star to come out of the state of Florida. And I'm telling you that, and that's without saying for promotional purposes. That's for real, for real. But, hey, we do like this, Malika, put them deuces up, and we're going to say peace as Val tell you a little bit about The Rise. And before we get out of here on that, she's one of my athletes on The Rise. What has The Rise meant for you so far as one of my signed athletes to part of the Rise NIL?
It has meant many opportunities, many doors open. It's meant a whole bunch of, like, publicity, getting my name out there. It's definitely meant so much to me.
Well, that's great, and we're going to continue. We're just getting started. I'm already rubbing two sticks together trying to get some more bonfires happening. So, again, we're going to peace out. We're going to talk a little bit about The Rise. And, again, thank you very much, Malika Chinyere, on the Pull Up Podcast Show. Tomorrow night, check back. No, not even tomorrow. Val pulled the show down, but we're coming back pretty soon. But if you have an athlete, a young athlete, that you know some very interesting things about, or they're not getting the publicity, or maybe no one knows about, but they're doing some phenomenal things. Again, please reach out to me. We'd love to have them on our Diamonds in the Rough series on the Pull Up Podcast Show. But for now, peace. The Rise, NIL. What are we? We're a sports marketing company brought to you in 2023, helping all of our athletes unleash their potential. We're in the sports world. Because what? The NIL, name, image, and likeness, is where the athletes play. So in order to do that, we want to make sure we help them maximize their earning potential, along with the brands that operate with them. So if you need to know some more information and how you can be a part of The Rise, reach out to us at information@therise.com or type in www.therisenil.com.
Pull Up Podcast, pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. 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 Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said bounce the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up.